Hello, everyone. This is Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where my guests and I do some movie roulette and randomly choose a film off my enormous watch list. Could literally be anything. And this time, I'm joined by my wife, Jess. Jess, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome, Shane.
And we are going to be talking about 1981's Modern Romance. And this satire was released March 13th, 1981. It's a 94-minute film. It made about $2.8 million at the box office, written, directed, and starring Albert Brooks. And this is very much an Albert Brooks film. It also cameoed two of his brothers, including Dave Einstein, his brother, who was like Super Dave, and apparently that was like a big thing in the 80s and the 90s. I recognized him and recognized his voice. I didn't know who he was, but he is indeed one of the Einstein brothers because Albert Brooks's real name is Albert Einstein.
I can't imagine why you changed it, Shane.
And then James L. Brooks, not related in any way, shape, or form, the director, made an appearance as a director in this film and would later cast Albert Brooks in his film Broadcast News. And Stanley Kubrick apparently loved this film and actually called up Albert Brooks afterwards about how impressed he was and how he had desperately been trying to make a film really capturing jealousy and just the madness of what this film is. And what is this film, you might say? Albert Brooks directs himself as a successful film editor with far too many issues that affect his relationship between him and his remarkably patient girlfriend. And this is starring Albert Brooks. Catherine Harold plays his girlfriend, and Bruno Kirby plays his best friend. But Jess, what are your thoughts on Modern Romance?
I'm thinking about how I can't picture Stanley Kubrick smiling, but I think that's a separate thing. I thought it was a funny satire. I mean, emphasis on the patient girlfriend, but honey, you could do so much better.
And I think that's the
I
point,
hate I
Jess.
hate that for you.
And there's moments where I hated watching this because it was so damn uncomfortable, but on purpose. It's just because we've watched a few of his films like Lost in America and Real Life. One that I really do want to watch is Defending Your Life. But this particular film, out of the three, though, is probably my least favorite. I think it's a little looser in
Mhm.
terms of what it's trying to say. Because,
Not
like,
cringe. I mean, he's cringy.
well, and I think that's expertly done because, God,
Yeah, he's pathetic, honestly.
Albert Brooks in this movie is pathetic. He is neurotic. He is narcissistic. He is anxious. He's just unrelentingly pessimistic and self destructive. This is like watching a car wreck of a human being trying to live their life and making every single worst possible decision. But it's absolutely hilarious along the way. Like there's a moment where he's on Quaaludes that night
They don't even
after.
help him.
No, and he just becomes so insecure, like his insecurities just grow so much, and he winds up calling up this woman and asking her out on a date out of the
Uh,
blue. And then when he picks her up, admits that he didn't remember her, which, like, if I were her, I would have just turned around.
oh, she puts up with a lot.
But I think the point of this movie is to show just how far somebody will go if people allow them to be so self-destructive. Because everybody is complacent. Every other person in this film is complacent to his shenanigans to the point where he just keeps being allowed to make mistake after mistake and not learn from any of them.
No, he doesn't.
But the moment where he picks her up, they're driving in the car,
They make it
and
like 2 blocks.
he's driving. You could see him getting emotional. He's not saying anything, and he circles around the block and drops her off in front of her
I was
apartment.
like, this was great. Let's do this again. And she was like, okay.
Albert Brooks is so funny. His comedic timing is so committed to the bit in this. Obviously, he wrote this for himself. He directed himself. He understands what he's trying to get forward. And also, my God, what a hairy man.
I was just thinking, is Shane gonna mention how hairy he is?
So hairy. I did not want to watch him naked in bed.
It was really funny when he shaved his face, because I mean, yeah, he shaved his face, but then you have everything else.
Everything else. And this film's a little bit looser because like it'll bounce around between things. Obviously, the main crux of it is him doing this anything he could possibly do to destroy his
Oh
relationship
my
with his
god,
girlfriend.
he's a mess.
And then the joke of it all is by the end, like they get married, like he proposes, and then like the little crawl at the end is like they got married and they got divorced and now they're dating again, about to remarry. I'm like,
Uh,
because he does so like he is a giant walking red flag,
yep.
like 100%.
This is a testament to how much heterosexual women will put up with.
Just and Catherine Harold is so good in this portraying this woman
Yeah,
because
she just seems exasperated.
like she has to show so much pain and suffering and then having to make us believe that she's going to say yes again to this
Oh
man.
my god.
The
She handled the breakup well. She was just like, okay, bye. And he's like, I'm so
and he
sad.
turns into a giant
And
ass
she moves
baby.
on. I
Yeah.
mean, in whatever you could do in a day, but she had moved on to somebody else.
Well, yeah, and also like it was. I think it was pretty obvious that she was exploring other
Yeah, she
options.
was like, okay, bye.
But what were some of the other moments that really stood out to you in the film?
When he gets mad at her for calling someone else.
Yes, like they drive all the way out to this mountain secluded little cabin and they're having such a great time and just loving how
He
great it
sticks
is.
his foot in his mouth.
And then he's just like,
She
by
loves him.
by the way, I was looking through your stuff and found this
His
phone
phone
bill.
records.
I called him. Yeah, I called him.
Oh my god.
And it's just
She just lets it slide. Girl, no. Break up with him.
and that's the thing. This film's almost insufferable to sit through because of just how terrible he is and how aloof she is and just keep saying yes. But that's the exact point. Like this film is a litmus test of the audience to see how much bullshit they can put up
Yeah,
with.
you know what? Watch this with someone you're newly in a relationship with. Gauge their reaction and base your reaction off of that. I feel like besides canoeing, which is like the highest challenge you can do with another person, it's the most challenging thing you could do.
I feel like if you watch this
Watch
with somebody
this.
and they defend him,
Yes, that's huge red flag. Just
yes.
immediately turn on the movie off, kick them out, ghost them.
Or if you're at their place, leave.
Yep. Like she should have done,
Yes.
but didn't.
And like there's some fun moments. There's some fun elements about filmmaking too. Like he's in the editing room and he makes a decision
Hmm.
and then James L. Brooks is not happy about it. And he's like, this is a good thing. It's just them going back and forth. The vulnerability and the neuroticism of being creative too
Hmm.
and clashing with creative collaborators. I think this film captures so much how many people it takes to put a film together
Mm.
because it shows the audio guys and like them just being like, are you shitting me, with the kind of demands and expectations the director's coming up with, and also like the fun little elements of like how they come up with sound
Hmm.
effects and stuff
Yeah,
like
that was
that.
pretty cool.
Like I wish that he made a whole entire I wish this was like testing the water to show him being somebody. I wish he made a film about making a film.
Oh yeah, no, it's like 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm like, did this really need to be here? Like it's really funny and it's interesting, but
Nice tip of the hat.
it is distracting from
Mm.
like the main focus. And there's some other fun gags like him with his brother, Dave Einstein at I'm sorry, Bob Einstein at the sporting goods store
Oh
where
yeah,
he's just
yeah.
trying
Oh
to
my
buy
god,
shoes.
that was relatable. Yeah,
and he
he's
get
gonna be a runner after
eh,
the breakup.
yes,
Redefining himself.
and what he runs one length and then goes to the payphone,
Yeah, look, some of us have been there.
and this film is very relatable in terms of like the first part of it dealing with a breakup. That first act of this movie is,
He's so insufferable.
yeah, is so
Keeps calling that.
crazy.
You're right though. People enable him. Like the guy that he keeps calling at the studio that's just trying to get his job done. He lets him go on and on.
Yeah.
He just lets him ramble. It's just don't pick up the phone. It's the '80s. Come
This
on.
is so like every single setup in this is so expertly put together to capture just how insufferable and uncomfortable human interactions possibly can be.
And romance movies are weird.
Yes. Like the whole thing where he's like super jealous of these two guys who go into the bathroom with his girlfriend, which, not gonna lie, I'd be a little suspicious if you wandered into the bathroom with two rando
I mean, it's
dudes.
weird. Don't
And
get
then
me
she
wrong.
comes up, they were hoovering some schneed, right, Jess?
They're doing some bathroom bumps.
Yep,
Just a little bit of nose candy.
yep, doing that cocaine.
It was the '80s, Shane.
It was the 80s where the peak of cocaine.
Everyone was doing bumps in the bathroom.
And like randomly George Kennedy's in this because he's in the sci-fi movie that they're making, and then he gets to meet
Oh
George
yeah.
Kennedy. It's just like what? And it's so weird, and it's just, this is a fascinating film, and it's such a great concept, and they ran with it and they committed to it, and it's so funny, but it's a hard watch because I would not be surprised if people noped out after like 20 minutes because they could not take Mr. Robert Cole
Yeah, I get it.
anymore.
I would understand it.
But no, Jess agreed to do a podcast about this, so she did indeed not, was not going to nope out. But Jess,
Put up with a lot, Shane. Not from you, just from movies, from people who make decisions, such as the guy in this movie.
oh wow, Jess.
And we've seen some real stinkers. This doesn't come close to Madam Web. That's still my test of horrible experience.
No, the swing of things.
Oh my god, why do you make me remember that? I forgot about it. That in what was the one, Jexy or whatever? Those
Um,
those were a special brand of horrible. At least I could dissociate through Madam Web. The other two pulled me back with anger. This did not do that. This was not that hard
this
of
was
a
on
sit.
purpose.
Yeah, plus it's not in the theater, so I'm not held hostage by the screen in front of me.
But Jess, any other thoughts on modern romance?
I have no more thoughts in my head. That's it.
Okay. Well, this is another excellent film from Albert Brooks and his extremely uncomfortable, awkward, dry brand of satire. And we still have Defending Life on the watch list, so
It was a
eventually we'll watch that too.
it's an interesting pick for Marlon.
Who's
I
extremely
mean, he's
neurotic,
I mean, that's
and
true. I get it.
if you, Albert Brooks is fantastic
He's
in
got a
broadcast
distinctive
news
voice.
too. Yeah, he does. It's just like him being the Paul Rudd's dad in This Is 40. He's just like, okay, your brother can't give me any more money, so I'm gonna have to start selling some of you. Which one of you are we gonna sell? Just, I love Albert Brooks. He is legitimately hilarious, and he is hilarious in this. It's just, my God, I hated his character with a fiery passion. As you should. Do not defend this man. Do not be this man if you can help it. But,
Yeah, we do like a nice SSRI every now and then. Maybe some SNRIs.
but yes, thank you all for listening. And Jess, thank you for coming on and talking about modern romance.
You're welcome.
I hope you all enjoyed our advice. Don't be this guy. But make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your favorite Albert Brooks performance? Is it Finding Nemo? And please make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPM Crew Podcasting Network has a lot of great content about film and television, sports and music, physical media and comics, and more to come. And just talking about life with Luke. Jess has been on there, and apparently she was a big success on there.
I'm a treat.
Jess is a treat.
because I'm an only child and had some trauma. That makes me funny,
There you go.
unlike the guy in this movie. Tie it back.
There you go. But if you like our logo, make sure to check out High Flyer Creative for any digital marketing needs you might have. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Watchlist here on the SPM Crew Podcasting Network.